Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Following the collaborative effort of Bandai Namco and Spike Chunsoft with Jump Force last year is the digital adaptation of One Punch Man, but instead of being Saitama, the lead character, the One Punch Man himself, the player is forced to make their own avatar, their own created fighter, who will go about City Z in hopes of becoming a hero. At its core, a hero nobody knows is a 3D arena fighter very similar to Jump Force. You have your light, your strong strikes. If you block right as the opponent is about to hit you, you can perform a perfect guard which will teleport you behind the opponent, though it does consume stamina upon doing so. And you also have your grandiose special maneuvers, a meter beside the profile picture of each person that is fighting. And as it fills up to certain numbers, you can perform special maneuvers, whatever ones that are assigned to that character. Each character has a fighting base style. This game has 6 overall base styles. These styles and abilities, unlike Jump Force, which is very unfortunate, though they are leveled up and you can get different abilities from different characters that you meet via side quests or overall story missions, they can't be mixed and matched. So you can't have the power, weapon, and psychic abilities all on one character. You have to embrace one style of fighting, work your way around that, even though you can switch at any time. So whatever you feel comfortable playing with, whatever style you feel comfortable playing with, you can, but you cannot mix and match. Gameplay wise, the game plays very much like a dumbed down version of Jump Force when it comes to the hand-to-hand combat, with some added implementations that actually make the combat very chaotic and sometimes very frustrating. And that is the inclusion of heroes and special events. Now, special events are the more frustrating aspect because there will be times where you are fighting, and just like in the One Punch Man series, where a meteorite shower will hit the earth, or moles will appear and pull you into the ground if you're close enough to them. There are also items that will be randomly deployed during matches that can boost strength, defense, or even restore health temporarily. And while all of these things are all well and good, there are times where you'll be in a very stressful fight and then all of a sudden a comet shower hits and you cannot stop it. You get hit 3 or 4 times and it's game over, which is very, very disappointing. On the opposite end of the spectrum is the appearance of supporting characters. Now, during certain situations and fights, supporting characters will arrive. They are time-based, and if you pull off certain special maneuvers or perfect guards, it will actually cut down on the time. And if they do arrive before your character dies, that allows for another character that the opponent has to fight if they want to win. Now, this also applies for villains as well. They have this ability too. So there may be a time when you're in a situation where there's a 2-on-1 fight, and eventually another villain arrives, making it 3-on-1, which makes the fight even that much more difficult. While the gameplay is pretty much mediocre, including offline and online, online is definitely a lot more stable and unexpectedly active when it comes to the community. I didn't have any disconnects, I didn't have really any laggy fights. The only lag that I experienced was at the top of a fight. Pretty much every fight, it was like the first couple of seconds you would get a little bit of lag. But other than that, there are very few fights where I experienced lags online. The biggest issue when it comes to online is the fact that the game is not necessarily skill-based, but tier-based. So if you take on a fighter who has unlocked the majority of the characters and they're picking the strongest characters, you will more than likely lose because the strongest characters in the game are the strongest characters online as well. Also, with the ranked avatar system that they have, where you play as the created character that you start off with, there's no filter. So you could fight a level 99 opponent and your character is only level 9, which is exactly what happened to me when I first cranked up online. From a narrative perspective, the game is actually very disappointing. As I said, this is really a retelling of the first season of One Punch Man, but you don't play as Saitama, you play as a created character. So they essentially shoehorn the created character in the scenes featuring One Punch Man and the arrival of Saitama so he could defeat the enemy that you cannot, because they have set the AI difficulty up to max, with enemies barely being able to take damage or anything until Saitama arrives for that one-punch kill. It does feel like they missed an opportunity to tell a unique story around the events of Season 1. They could have really made a unique story featuring a created character and still implemented the scenes from Season 1 to bring it all together. Instead, we have this lazy presentation where the main character that you play as, the guy that is supposed to be building up to become a great fighter, is just inferior in every single way when it comes to the major story points. Also, the story is incredibly short simply because a lot of what makes One Punch Man Season 1 so great is the character development and not necessarily the battles. So you have these story missions that last barely 5 to 10 minutes, and to pad out the time, you're forced to earn contribution points that will help your hero ranking by completing side missions that are very mundane, usually fetch quests or just go over there and beat up this guy, and extra fight quests that are located at the central hub of City Z. The majority of the time that I've spent playing through the story has been trying to get points to continue the story. It's not been playing the story itself, which once again just proves to me that this game really shouldn't exist. Overall, I have to say One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, is one of the most disappointing experiences I've had in quite some time. It's a game that has a solid gameplay foundation that is really made for casual play, but can't be taken seriously. The story is non-existent and very disappointing. The graphics, the sound are fine, but don't stand out or won't be memorable in any way, shape, or form. Really, the only commendable things is the fact that it does have that humor that is associated with One Punch Man and does it very well. And the online functionality is definitely strong. If you just want to spend some time goofing off with some friends and don't take fighting games seriously, this is actually a very fun game to play around with for a couple of hours. But beyond that, if you're interested in the story, if you're interested in great presentation, if you're interested in great fighting gameplay mechanics, definitely look elsewhere. This is not the game for you. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, if you don't mind, I have to go outside and do some training. I have to do some push-ups, some sit-ups. I have to run 10 kilometers. And hopefully, when Earth is threatened by a gigantic one-eyed monster, I will be able to showcase my skills and my power and make that beast cry out, "Oh, Lordy!"